Breaking news tonight from BWI Airport. 6 people are in a nearby hospital. 2 people were shot while sitting inside of a car earlier today. The flames took over the building and spread to neighbors. They saw Luis Cabrera post a picture of himself holding a loaded AR-15 rifle. It could have been avoided just by looking at the sign. Now imagine going to the barber if your barber was Edward Scissorhands. Any kind of situation like that where people have been threatening at schools? For those who can't go home, their hope leans on legal guardianship and adoption. Police have been responding to a possible bomb threat since 9 p.m. tonight. They say animal cruelty could become non-existent, mainly because you're not actually raising the animals to slaughter them in the first place.
Our background may be unpleasant and it may be painful, but it can be transformed in a positive way. It's very meta.
Ramakan Orwiskers grew up in North Carolina, and he says it wasn't always easy.
Black and queer in the Jim Crow South in the 1960s.
This artist is using the tools his family gave him to help others relax and have conversations.
I describe myself as a social practice artist.
You see, he's focusing not so much on the craft,
Over your finger,
but more on the freedom to do it. It's a feeling that really hits home for him.
My grandmother allowed me to break the rules when I was growing up in Jim Crow South.
Growing up, his mom and grandmother both quilted, and his parents even worked in a cotton factory. He's been around textiles all his life, so his chosen art form is kind of sewn into the fabric of his life.
Even though it's fabric, and even though it's a wooden hook, it still can be an experience beyond the materials that you're using.
Ramakan hosts Crochet Jam. He's been doing it all over the country since 2012.
Crochet Jam is my way of giving to others what I need. I need someone to listen. I need to be embraced. We can use art as a way to heal and transform, not just only art on a wall in a gallery, but in a community event like this, where people can express themselves through the materials. I think my grandmother would be very proud of me. I think that she would not be aware of the fact that it could be so profound, something so simple.
Excellent. Bria Martha Rodriguez checks into this federal building. She checks in with ICE every few months, and she's been doing it for 9 years, but this time's different. How do you feel?
Nerviosa. Muy nerviosa.
Nervous, she says. Rodriguez is an undocumented immigrant from Honduras. She lives with her 2 children in New Carrollton, Maryland. She came to the United States in 2005 illegally. She says she was seeking asylum from gangs and an abusive relationship. Rodriguez was hoping to have more time.
We have no good news.
But she didn't come out. She was detained until she can be sent back to Honduras. Once there, she'll have to wait 10 years to try to legally return. That's according to her lawyer.
I've never imagined that this would be happening at this country.
She told me in a previous interview that she would do whatever it takes to get back to her children, even if that means breaking the law.
This is what we stand for. Sanctuary in the broadest possible sense.
Not everyone agrees.
The system works. It's the same way everywhere in the world. What's the problem?
Rodriguez's case is not unique, and some may be asking why after 9 years had she not simply applied for citizenship. Well, it's not that easy. In Rodriguez's case, she needed to be living in the U.S. for at least 5 years with a green card that would give someone like Rodriguez permission to work and live in the U.S. She needed to be sponsored by a close relative, like her children. At this point, her daughter cannot help, despite being an American citizen, because she was too young.
But we're going to continue fighting for our community, for Marta.
I don't know where it came from. It was just wet and raining, and all of a sudden there was fog.
Slicing through dense fog, a stone figure stands tall, overlooking a nation.
Looks like this is the good place to have a little bit of solitude.
Donning raincoats and heavy hearts,
It's just beautiful.
patches of people are gathering to recognize what one man is meaning for them.
We're at the Martin Luther King Memorial next to the tidal pool in Washington.
All eyes peering through,
This is mind-blowing.
mystified.
On TV, it's like, but when you see it in real life, it's like amazing.
Even those not old enough to even remember when.
I feel like he's a soldier.
Martin Luther King Jr. is known for his hand in changing the course of history and fighting for equality.
If it wasn't for him, black people like me and my brother, like we have to go to different fountains and stuff. Like we can't even go to the same restaurant with white people.
Gave us hope for a time where there wasn't any.
Martin Luther King stands in the tradition of Americans who thought that we could be better than we act sometimes.
Many saying they feel like MLK wouldn't be happy with the progress being made.
I would think that he's proud of where we have came, but there's still a lot to work to be done, though.
He'd be pretty incensed that nobody seems to be listening to anybody else.
I think he would be very sad for all the work that he's done. We're almost still where he started.
Thoughts of the past swirling around the hard, smoky facade, just to be met with present realities.
You know, you can't see through the fog to get where you're going, and it's kind of reminiscent of the past, but we got to fight our way through the fog to get to